I really don't like labels, but for the sake of brevity, I will assume those of surfer, filmmaker, father, and American citizen. My role as a father is the most important to me, and my dual passions for surfing and filmmaking came together in the film I made about surfing the waves of the Great Lakes that took 15 years to make. And it was through my work on the film Unsalted that I discovered an issue that gave me the desire to try to make a difference as a citizen of this great country. Although I live in Michigan, it is not uncommon to find my friends and me in Indiana one day, in Illinois, Wisconsin, or Minnesota the next. Because if you love to surf the best waves of the Great Lakes, you need to follow the ever-changing weather patterns. During these travels, I made many friends, and on most days, we would finish a 3 to 4 hour surf session in a parking lot or a nearby tavern, sharing stories about how great it was in the surf that day, or 2 weeks ago when it was perfect, but nobody was there with a camera. The more time we spent in the waves, the more we began to notice the little things around us, the changing color and clarity of the water, the fluid shapes of the sand dunes, and even the slightest change of wind direction. However, on some days, especially when surfing near river mouths, we noticed a much darker color to the water and a foul smell in the air. And our traditional post-surf gatherings were tainted by severe sinus headaches, congestion, and an ear or stomach ache. It was my heightened awareness of both the good days and the bad that brought me to help form the Lake Michigan chapter of the Surfrider Foundation with some of my fellow surfers. Recently, I was asked to attend Great Lakes Day in Washington, D.C. by the Healing Our Waters Coalition. Formed in 2005 with the very generous support of fellow Michigander Peter Wegge, the coalition is made up of 110 organizations representing millions of people around the Great Lakes, all working to create a comprehensive plan to restore the health of the Great Lakes. Upon arriving in D.C., I began to feel a rush of adrenaline, very much like I would minutes before paddling out on a good day. It was a mix of excitement and nervousness. I'm just a surfer, I said to myself. How could I really make a difference in this powerful city? Moments later, I was greeted by fellow coalition members and given a folder of information, including a packed agenda for the next 48 hours. We listened to experts explain the legislative process as it relates to our goals. We learned about the ongoing struggle to protect wetlands, about the funding needed for sewage infrastructure, about the financial burden of invasive species on business and government, and we received tips on how to construct our message to legislators. That evening, after attending a reception at the Canadian Embassy, we were prevented from leaving immediately by the lights and sirens of a motorcade making its way to Capitol Hill. When I finally returned to my hotel, I saw the president addressing a joint session of Congress live on TV. I realized that it was his motorcade that had passed me by just 30 minutes earlier, and in that moment, it suddenly became clear to me. I can be part of the process. I can make a difference. And I'm not the only surfer who thinks so.